Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about the risks involved with operating a node or downloading node software to your computer or purchasing a node license in the form of an NFT, because there's always risks involved and I always want to make sure that everyone in my team is aware of the risks. I also wanted to share stories about other node projects I've seen in the past and how they unfolded and the time frames that it can potentially take before you start seeing some results. So, all right, here's one of the first risks involved with getting involved in any kind of blockchain project where you're going to be operating a node or downloading a software node to validate transactions for the blockchain ecosystem. The first risk is they sell you a node license and then they just don't develop anything. They just create they create a roadmap, they create an idea, they have a vision. They sell all the licenses, and they usually sell them for Bitcoin or Ethereum or AVAX or Binance Smart Chain or whatever the native token is on their blockchain. And they collect all this money, and then they just don't develop anything. And then you're left holding the bag. That bag might be a node license that's never good for anything, or it might be an NFT that represents your node license. But that's one risk, is that nothing happens with the project. The development team ends up doing a lousy job, or the development team never had any intention of developing the project in the first place. They just created this idea so they could collect money and then dip on out, just like what happened in the ICO bubble in 2017. The same exact thing was happening with the ICOs in 2017. And the same thing can potentially happen right now with nodes, with NFTs, with the metaverse. In fact, I believe that like over 90% of the NFTs and the metaverse projects that you're seeing everyone talk about right now are going to go to zero and be completely worthless in the next coming years. Like in the next 2, 3, 4 years, 90% of them are just going to be complete duds. Just like the ICO bubble. That is just my prediction. So the other risk is that the company does a rug pull. So like let's say they create this, they create this blockchain ecosystem, or they create something where they do actually have some software nodes, or you get the NFT that represents the node, and then you do start earning some cryptocurrencies, and then all of a sudden, the cryptocurrencies that everyone is earning from running their nodes, the value of them just plummets to zero because the development team that is holding the majority of the coins, or a small group of people, within the company that is holding a majority of the coins, go and just dump them all on the market all at once, and then it crashes the price down to zero. So that's another risk that could potentially happen if you're running nodes or even mining crypto or anything like that. Now, I want to explain to you the time frame that it could potentially take in a project for you to actually start seeing results, and for the development to actually get to a point where you start seeing that this platform is now ready to be used, is ready to actually onboard members and start using the products or using the services, which in a lot of cases is going to be like a video game or a metaverse. And I'm going to use Gala as an example because it was one that I got into that turned out to be really legit, and basically everyone who got involved with Gala hit a home run, who got involved early. So I remember when I first met Eric Schirmeyer and some of the development team, they were telling us about this idea they had where they wanted to decentralize video gaming. And there was back then when I first met these guys, there was no Gala. The word or the name Gala, they hadn't decided they were going to use that name yet. They were just talking about how video gaming was centralized, and it was all on these centralized cloud-based servers, and they were deleting, or not deleting, but they were banning members from accessing their accounts after they had spent years and countless hours, and sometimes, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars building up the characters in these video games, and then they would block them out of their account because they violated terms and conditions or something like that. And they just explained how the centralized gaming networks of today they're just sucking people dry of their money. Mainly it's like kids with their parents' credit card hooked up to the account, like on the PlayStation Network or something like that. And they're just sucking people dry of their money, and the players have no ownership of their accounts or of their games the way it used to be, like how it was on when you had a PlayStation device or you had a Nintendo 64 and you bought the device and then you bought the game, and you actually held the game like it was a physical asset. You could hold the game as a compact disc or as a cartridge, and you could put that cartridge or disc in your game console and play it anytime you wanted. And there was nothing that the company could do to stop you from playing that game because you held it in your hand and you owned it as your own physical asset. Well, that all changed once everything went cloud-based to the centralized cloud-based servers. So they were explaining to us, oh yeah, we want to fix this problem, and we're going to use blockchain technology to fix this problem. And I remember they announced that, hey, they were gonna have nodes that validated the transactions for all the different in-game items and the different in-game cryptocurrencies. And this was back in like 2019. They said, okay, we're going to start selling node licenses. So even back in 2019, they put the node licenses up for sale. And all through the whole rest of the year 2019, there was nothing. Even through the majority of 2020, there was no game anyone could play. It was all in development. So it took like over a year for things to develop to a point to where they even began to show us, hey, like this is the first game we were going to launch, and it was called Town Star, which was kind of like Farmsville, but a decentralized version. And then finally in 2021, things actually got to a point to where, hey, like this is looking like a functional gaming platform now that actually has a game people can play. And that was just the time frame it took for the whole project to develop. So I'm just explaining this to you that yes, I mean, anyone who bought a Gala node in like January or February of 2021 and then held it for, earned the rewards and then held on to them, made a pretty big profit very quickly because of the Binance listing and the Coinbase listing later that year. But it's not always guaranteed to happen that fast. Sometimes it can take years for projects to develop, and sometimes projects could be in development for years and then still fail. So again, we can't guarantee anything, but what I am trying to do is I'm trying to duplicate kind of how we got into Gala at an early stage and accumulate the NFTs and the in-game cryptocurrencies, and then hopefully they get listed on a big exchange and they onboard hundreds of thousands of members and end up being cool projects with cool games that we can play if we want. Or not everyone I know plays video games, but if you don't play video games but you see the opportunity, you can still participate by operating a node and helping validate and confirm the transactions for the in-game items, which are represented as NFTs. So I just wanted to explain that. I hope that all makes sense. I know there's going to be lots of rug pulls. There's going to be lots of failed programs. So I just need to make everyone aware of that. Like if you are going to participate in these things like I do, that nothing is guaranteed. I am not advising anyone to purchase an NFT or purchase a node license. I do these videos for discussion purposes and entertainment purposes, not financial advice. It is all very, very high risk, and I would never put my own money into something unless I could afford to lose it, especially cryptocurrency. It's very, very experimental, volatile, high risk asset class. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you like the kind of content that I share, please support my channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and also leave me a comment if you have some kind of cool blockchain project or video gaming project you think that has potential. I love discussing different projects. All right, that's it. See you guys later.